The Georgia Certified Peer Specialist Project is the first program where people who have been diagnosed with a mental illness are paid with Medicaid dollars to provide their unique services to help others who are currently in the mental health system. In this 2-week training, which is held 4 times a year, those who have been disempowered by the system are taught many new empowering concepts of recovery. CPSs offer something that cannot be offered by mental health professionals because, unlike CPSs, professionals do not have the lived experience of being in the system. Recovery from mental illness is a new concept within the system, and CPSs are basically peers helping peers to recover. This film is a peek into the CPS training, and it is the first of its kind.
Impacts of illness. Group number 2, you're doing life is limited. And group number 3, you're doing.
They're saying there's things that you can and you cannot do.
Yeah. I had put on disability insurance income or social.
But they make you say that. They make you say that there are things that you can't do when you really can.
They say, you know, how often you should take your meds, the length of time you should take your meds, you know.
They put you on medication where you're not able, some medication they put you on, you're not even able to function with it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have that too. They tell you what to do.
They make you feel different. It first label your illness.
Yeah.
That sometimes is like a mislabeling because it may not be what's really going on.
Like you can't function in society. They put limits on them. Staying in the problem or the illness, not allowing us to make mistakes, segregate, and put labels. Pink nail polish. That's bipolar.
That's exactly what he's saying. No, sometimes I had pink that looked different from different angles with sparkles. And then if my hair color changed, well, you know, that's typically bipolar.
Yeah.
You go into talk to a psychiatrist that's never been there, they don't really totally understand.
In your particular situation, what does that message, what does that doctor look like or say or sound like or do that sends a message to you that this person doesn't believe that I'm going to really do anything more than be very sick now?
What did she say?
What did she say? What did she do?
Well, just recently she told me I needed to quit my job, that my job was too stressful, but it made me feel like I would never be able to function at a high-level job again.
Excellent. I've got the symptoms under control. Come to program, I get a hot meal, maybe this is as good as it's going to get. What are some of the messages that the system sends that have the potential to keep you stuck there?
Thinking about living like that for the rest of your life is horrible.
The relationship between the consumer and the helper, and that oftentimes we feel like we're treated as a patient instead of a person.
Many times some of us felt we were often over-medicated and that there was more emphasis on the medication because the particular institution would be getting more money with more people medicated. When I was in an inpatient facility, I wanted to get training to work in this field, to help people. And they would always tell me, oh yeah, you can do this, but you have to wait until you get more stable, until you've been in the program longer, and you're ready to do this. But yet at the same time, nothing ever happens. You know?
There's no help to get you ready to work with other folks.
Right, and it's almost like they forgot about it. Unless I brought it up, it was never brought up again.
Okay.
When they would assess you, and go over your goals again. Every time I would have to bring it up again, and it's ironic because once they left and I was on my own, 2 months later I was working in the field.
It sounded like there was no assistance with creating a support network other than within the system itself.
I know what I feel. I feel exactly what I feel, and I'm capable of thinking on my own. And you might not like my thought process, but I'm still capable of thinking on my own. So instead of you putting me in the recovery, you rather keep me stuck in the illness. And that's the problem, the illness. I want to get into the solution, which is the recovery.
if you have a desire or a dream, they want to stand back and maybe tell you that if you're going to take that risk, that you can't be served. We're not going to be able to serve you because it's just too risky. You're outside of that box.
My mother them used to say, "Are you crazy?" And a lot of times people will say that, but it's just the way you say it. Are you crazy? And I've heard that all my life. And my grandmother them used to say, "Don't make me take you to Central State and I get a check for you." And that actually was, something that stuck in my mind. And I'm 42 years old today. People always told me I was crazy and I would never amount to nothing. So it's the way words can really hurt you for a lifetime. And it's taken me a long time to get, to that part. I'm not crazy. I just have a problem. And we was all talking about the medication aspect of it. That a lot of times when I came through treatment, I came from a shelter with women, and they gave us all the same medicine. They gave us all the same medicine. We just all took it at different times of the day. And